Our heroes just spent their first night inside the Tanglebriar, the destroyed southern forest of Keonan, long since a demonic and fungal wasteland. The Queen tasked the four of them, with the help of Shalelu, to begin familiarizing themselves with how to track, survive, and infiltrate in this region. In their first day, they've encountered the smells, the screams, demons, fey ghosts, and brainworms. With the help of Shalelu and her rangers, the first night passed without further incident, and the heroes are now preparing for the next day's efforts. Shalelu arrives to give the overnight report, and to show her picture here while she talks to you all. Good morning. It's good to see that you appear at least somewhat rested. My sentinels have done their job. We established a camp yesterday with some precautions, but I think we need to plan for more comprehensive solutions for the future. The Night Watch has identified numerous sounds, poisonous mushrooms, and creeping insects. Though we didn't see any more demons or large predators, I don't feel our luck will hold, however. Oh, ignore that scream. We identified well, we'll call it a frog. It attracts prey to something similar to a scythe tree. Oh, and that giggle too. That's a bird. Similar symbiotic relationship with that tree. They were less common over the night. Guess this is what the forest feels like when it wakes up. Anyways, what are your thoughts? How should we enhance our campsite in the future? And what are your plans for the day? Do we fortify and explore the region? Do we pack up and move deeper in and try again?
I suppose I have a question first. Has anyone identified anything we can eat in this dreadful forest?
We did not find anything we would wish to consume. We are persisting off our rations. However, the smell makes it even hard to keep food down at the moment.
Okay, then I think we're going to need to make more of a chain of different camps to bring in food from the outside. Wouldn't that be more wise?
Well, I think we can teleport that in, right?
It's probably better if we have a land route.
Well, at some point we're going to maybe be heading out to Riverspire to take a look for a cache of items we could resupply at that time.
That's a good point. I don't know, Libbiel. It seems like this is pretty deep into Tanglebriar.
I wasn't really talking about us. I was talking about because we're supposed to start a camp here for like more people than just, us.
Well, if it turns out this place is that bad off, we will have to find someplace else to set up the base camp. But until something besides the trees are laughing at us or giggling, I think we might be okay. Maybe that checking out that cache will find that could be part of the potential route. Just keeping options open. I'm not saying we have to stick to anything. We're still mobile enough here.
So, Shalelu, what's a scythe tree?
Oh, a scythe tree. It is not necessarily a threat to us, but it's a large tree with branches that like to reach out and cut people down. It then feeds on the blood from its victims. We normally see them in blighted forests. The ones here seem a touch more demonic and fiendish than the usual ones feel closer to a dark fae, while these seem like demons, maybe convergent evolution?
That sounds lovely. Yeah. Are they? They're trees, so they probably stay in a small area. We'll just maybe want to mark where to avoid.
The ones we're used to outside this region are slow. They are ambush predators. They will occasionally relocate to where they think they could find prey more easily. The ones here seem to be a bit stronger, but seem to have lost their ability to move. I think they would have approached the campsite if they could.
Vanarel, did you want to maybe, I don't know, maybe you'd be the expert, but maybe at least knowing what's around us would be a good idea. Getting a layout of the land.
Most definitely. It's something I have thought about.
Giant
We need to do
mosquito spiders, screaming birds, actually giggling birds, screaming frogs, and trees that will just cut our heads off. I love this forest. Don't you?
Oh, and that's not to mention the brainworms, the tangle rot, the smells, and the haze.
Oh yes, that's a more complete list.
It's a magical place, yeah.
Well, talking about scouting around the camp, that does tie into one of our goals. We have a 3-4 day reconnaissance heading deeper in. We have an option to go, like I said, to River Spire. There is also Tanglegate, but I think we might want to hold that till the end. Once we've taken care of the other tasks here, it seems that may cause a lot of attention towards us.
That's true. At least establishing this as a safe location to be able to spend the night seems like a good idea. Maybe we take a look around here, familiarize ourselves a little bit more with how to track the terrible things that dwell in this forest, and then we can make our way to one of the other locations.
Are you
Sounds
wanting
like
the Silver Branch Sentinels to proceed with you, or to continue to fortify this camp that you'll be returning to tonight? I couldn't tell from your discussion.
Oh, I think we're capable of exploring around and stumbling our own way through these woods and figuring out what's what. Though maybe a description of what those scythe trees look like would be handy.
Yes, let me...
You said you did some scouting. Do you know where they are, generally speaking?
Yes,
or-
there was at least one about 400 feet northwest of the camp. That seems to be where all of the frogs and birds were trying to lure people.
That seems okay as long as we know that they're not mobile anymore.
These did, as I said, these did not appear to approach the camp. We even could detect them from a little bit away, and they did not react to us. That is the classic scythe tree. That's not, the versions here would be a little more rotted, and probably some more mushrooms growing on them. But that's a scythe tree. So it's a very gnarled, slightly whip-like tree. It has a toothed maw that opens in its trunk, but it can be completely camouflaged under normal use. And you can see the roots do look a little bit leg-like there. It does look like that version. It looks like it could be posed to spring on you. And you're saying these ones here are probably double or triple this size. This one would have been a size large. The ones they're talking about are probably size gargantuan. And just sounds of distress seem like they are designed to lure you to these locations.
So avoid the sounds of the distress. Okay.
Well, I think fortifying the camp is probably the best bet while we do the scouting. If we determine that we found a better place to move to after, we will come back for you, but I don't think there's going to be many good places here.
I'm still of the opinion having multiple camps lead into the heart to be perhaps a better idea, but
Will we
I feel like I'd
teleport
be
in, right,
able to.
Libbiel?
Yeah,
That would take quite a while to set up, and I don't know we have that sort of time. I'm not
My
sure.
only concern with multiple camps is the personnel we'd need to keep them secure. Even this camp here, even one seems like quite the task.
Shalelu kind of
Yes.
nods along of, I think at least our initial mission is learning what it takes to establish and defend a campsite. When it comes time for a longer expedition that might require a supply train for a larger, less surgical team, yes, I think we probably will need multiple camps along the way, but we need to establish the blueprint, the prototype for how these camps can be set up and how we can set them up
Okay.
quickly on the move. I know sometimes we will have to be the ones establishing the new forward base. And what supplies should we bring that we did not bring this time? What do we wish we had? How big a group should we have here? We used some alarm spells last night. We made a small earth mound to help hide the glow of the campfire a little bit. I do think that may not have helped as much as we would have liked. The light does seem to reflect off the haze to some degree and travel more that way than we were used to. I think we are advertising our presence a bit more than we'd like. However, I would not want to try staying here without the comforts of a campfire.
Does any one of your rangers have the spell Transmute Rock and Mud?
Yes, limited uses.
Okay. I'm just asking mainly because I think that will be one of the better ways to establish a camp, is to get rid of as much of the mud, at least in the camp zone.
Like a useful, basic building, treating the swamps as our moat rather than living in it ourselves. Not that I
Yes.
think it would slow down most of the things we've seen that come at us, but it still might be a small measure of safety. And
At the very least, we won't be fighting on mud ourselves.
perhaps it would lessen the intensity of the smell.
I hope so. This journey has been a very colorful variety of smells so far.
Yes, I have been many places, across the crown of the world, to the far east, and here, and this is by far the least pleasant of those locations.
It ranks top 3 for me. I think if I were to compare it to the city that was taken over by the giant fungus, which it is no longer doing that, but I think that beats it.
So, are there other suggestions from the rest of you as to how we could improve our existing campsite? Either things we can accomplish at the
some
moment or
thoughts.
things we should do next time.
What Libbiel was talking about moving out some of the mud and dirt as much as we can to make a more clear campsite. There's a possibility we could use that to erect not necessarily a wall, but some earthenwork barricades around. So at least if things are coming in, they must go over or through smaller gaps. It might help block some of the fire and light.
It does feel it's hard to know which of those would end up being more noticeable to people who know the area well, but I agree, light and noise both tend to give our position away more strongly than maybe a new hill would.
Instead, we need to think of the longer distance and the shorter distance of like a combat. So places where we can tuck into to maintain like a cover or something.
Yeah, I agree with Libbiel. Anything that approaches this place is going to know we're here. We're quite distant from fungal plants, so I think fortifying the local area makes sense.
And
The fire is going to attract the eye from far away, no matter how we do it.
And it did feel like at least you all were more than a match for the enemies we encountered last night. I think my team would have proven successful, but we may have lost some of our own if we'd been the only ones on defense. That does mean we are limited for these advanced camps at the moment to people of our strength or better. We definitely could not bring the army through here at present, I feel. Even with support, I feel there are too many dangers to expose lesser trained troops to.
Perhaps for a adventuring army coming through this way. Says that perhaps are of cold iron, because it seems there's a lot of demons here.
That's not a surprise, but that point is well. I will have my sentinels do what they can with our current skills to keep raising the earthen ring around the camp, as well as try to dry out the ground here as best we can. Sounds like maybe trying to eliminate whatever plant life is in the area, given that most of it is toxic, smelly, or trying to kill us, and barren ground might be safer. And while we work on that, it sounds like you are planning to do a one-day-long loop looking around the local area for more what you can learn, but returning to this campsite tonight, I think is what I heard Daegron suggesting.
I wouldn't want to go too far just yet.
I do
I might
have
be
the
the ones.
spells to house us while we're outside of the camp, so it's not like we'll be trying to exist at night in this place.
A day-long loop should be pretty decent, but if we do get trapped out there, it's good to know you have those on hand, Libbiel.
Do we have means to send messages back to the camp? If we decide to be out longer, I wouldn't want them to send a search party if we were safe.
I believe I have a wand of sending that I could certainly, if something comes up, we will let you know.
She nods. I mean, you can tell that she does feel that reinforcing the camp, putting a few more ideas into action, is the important part of one of the missions, and while the scouting you're doing is another important part. But you can tell that there might be a little bit of concern over splitting the band. Obviously, at some point, she knows the four of you will be doing your own surgical strikes on your own. But while there's still more to learn in the region, she is a little nervous about not having you four here to defend. She's more worried about her band than she is about the four of you.
That's a fair point. Why don't you take this wand of sending? Do you have somebody who can use this to send me a message?
Yes.
Okay.
I will prepare. If you say my name out loud, I will know that you need my attention. I have this thing that hasn't come up yet, but it's a little signal spell, and I will know sort of like how you're feeling at the time. I will know if you're feeling stressed about like being attacked. It should go for about a mile, which is probably about as far as we're going out.
Yeah, I'll still give her the wand just in case she does want to deliver a message.
Yeah, a mile is probably not far enough for a day's exploration. You're probably more about a 3 to 5 mile loop at that point with the strong terrain.
I don't have the ability to prepare this night.
Or you can get us back here in about 10 minutes, but that no matter what distance we're at. But yeah, if you need us, let us know immediately.
So it is sounding like another part of our protocol, and this might be relevant to other groups as well, is making sure we can defend ourselves for minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes to allow a response.
Yeah, teleport takes a bit to cast.
Very good. I will head off to deal with my troops. Please let me know when you leave camp. And so she'll walk away and leave the 4 of you some time to discuss anything else you may have before you want to set off on your reconnaissance loop.
Daegron, how you feeling about all this?
I think Shalelu had the right of it. We need to secure this camp first. Then we can decide whether we do a deeper strike to do further reconnaissance, or whether we go to Riverspire to check that cache that's supposedly hidden there. But I would keep those in our mind on what we want. The cache will, from the sounds of it, give us useful things for maybe doing such a strike, but knowing more of what Tree Razor's forces are doing here would definitely benefit the camp and benefit us.
I think I agree with that.
I can get behind that. Vanarel, how are you feeling about this plan?
Well, everything has to start with a day 1, so this is a good start for it. Keeping this camp built up along with the wider scouting out, we get ourselves more familiarized with the dangers that are here in the swamps, and we can not only know to avoid them, but also to build them into our defenses. And I think the faster and longer we spend on that, the less time I'm going to have the chance to ask myself just what the hells we're actually doing out here. So
Try not to eat the delicious looking mushrooms.
that
Right,
too.
Mushrooms, and what were the other things we should talk about?
I've got worms. We'll deal with that after.
Okay.
I believe
you've
the
got
worms
worms?
I believe they got rid of the worms with a counteract at the
Oh,
end
did
of
they?
last session. So
Okay.
you don't have brain worms.
Good, I can cross the brain worms off my list.
All right.
For now.
And so it sounds like now so the 4 of you are ready to go. I'm not going to move you off. Maybe we'll put you on a different map for at least flavor reasons. Let's use. Actually, I'm just going to use this illustration map while we're traversing. Just a fun little picture of the region you're in. And that might be the type of tree we were worried about.
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah, those all look fun.
It might be something different. It might be the tree. I won't say which, but this is the swamp that you're in at the moment. So you can see all the insects, all the bugs, horrible kind of murky water, and the tree with all these jagged tentacles. And that actually might make navigation a little bit harder. But the 4 of you head off, kind of going deeper into the Tanglebriar for maybe the first 3 to 4 hours of the day before you're going to loop around a different direction and try to find your way back. And I mean, so far, you can't tell much differences. Over this kind of distance, all of the marsh feels the same, smells the same. The land is typically no more than about 1 to 2 feet above the surface of the water, and often your feet are sinking down into the water. You hear constant dripping. What are you doing as you walk through this horrible wasteland?
Vanarel or Dezi, whichever one of you is better with a map and a pen, can you please maybe mark down? We need to lay out some of the hazards. We know there was that tree 400, 500 feet out, but I would like to have a rough idea of where these are for our allies in case they need to move. Last thing we want to do is walk into some sort of scythe tree's lair, or who knows what other horrible nasties out here.
I don't mind taking that on if Vanarel wants to keep their eyes open for danger and maybe, try to find some tracks and do some things along those lines.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, history has it that I'll be grabbed by the thing, so we'll know exactly where they are.
Yeah, if that works. Dezi, you mark, and Vanarel, maybe if you can see if anything's moving through these areas we should be aware of. Large creatures, more of those horrible mosquito, spider, demons, whatever they were, but maybe see if there's any tracks around.
Can do.
So
So I may be scouting up ahead a little bit
So
farther
Dezi will
than
go there and
usual.
crossbow and kind of have the map going out.
yeah, so from Vanarel, I can take, it sounds like survival, scouting lore, nature, something of that nature, whatever you want to kind of recommend as what you'd like to use, but those feel like the relevant skills.
Okay, survival was what I was thinking,
Perfect.
so I'll do that. Is a blind roll.
This can be public.
Okay.
You don't know the DC anyways, so you know how you
That
do
is
that.
true.
Okay. Yeah, you're definitely learning the way around a little bit of a, you won't call it necessarily an intelligence, but there is some organization you are seeing to the way the slightly higher land is laid out. And it didn't look like roads to you before, but now it is feeling just slightly like that. And you think you're seeing some pattern to it. You're not able to tell anything of the nature of like a side trail versus a main road yet. You haven't seen enough variety to kind of pin that down to use that to help navigate, but you can start predicting some of the dead ends more easily. And Dezi, you were, for recording it, I would, again, scouting lore, maybe some form of warfare lore would fit well. Maybe society, that's a little bit of a stretch. Survival's
I don't
probably
mind
still
a
the
straight
better
up
one.
survival. Yeah,
Survival's
survival.
good.
That's fine.
Yeah, you feel like you're at least getting a good map. And as you're cross-checking things with Vanarel as you walk around, you're able to kind of confirm with each other how it's going. The map is reinforcing what Vanarel is learning. He's trying to predict a few places that look like they might be more worthy of exploring than others. You haven't really stumbled across any enemies yet, which I guess is a good thing. But at the same time, if you're here for reconnaissance, it's a little bit unsatisfying to not even see groups to avoid or spy on or stay away from or learn about. So it's feeling a little bit underdeveloped in this area. What are El or Daegron doing?
Libbiel, do you have anything you're looking for? I'm looking through Daegron's stuff, and besides just general perception, I'm looking to see what I can get.
I wanted to ask, is that fungus I ate still sort of like affecting me? Am I able to maybe try to create a connection through that?
I would have thought
To
that
see.
would have worn off. That was,
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
That was at least, I think that was about a week ago at least.
Yeah,
If
I
you miss
wanted to ask.
re-exposure, you could eat some more mushrooms here, but you don't know what that would do.
Before anyone stops her, she bites a mushroom.
Okay, give me a will save.
Okay,
Libby, why are you?
I'm re-rolling that. Why?
Okay,
That's exactly my question.
yes,
And everyone says, why?
you feel a little different, and what are you trying to ask through the mushrooms?
She's going to try to build a connection to see if she can link into like a network that's maybe giving orders, or see if there's any kind of intelligence there to this whole swamp.
So I could take, I would believe nature or diplomacy, or maybe deception, but I think it seemed like you weren't trying to be deceptive about this. You were just trying to, so I think diplomacy is probably the best, most relevant, but if you want to make a case for a different skill, let me know.
Nature through Arcana.
Sure, I'll allow the unified theory feat to apply here.
I guess this is open since I don't know any DCs. Whoa.
Yeah, you're feeling a strong pull to the southwest of your current location. You can't tell a distance, but it does seem like that is a location of increased presence and maybe a draw. It almost maybe feels like the mushrooms in this area wish they were there.
Okay. Libby's going to say out loud, the mushrooms call to me that direction. She points to the strongest pull.
He kind of takes a sidelong glance at Daegron.
Yeah, I think for Daegron it would be more just trying to clear a path to make things as easy for the rest of the group to get through. He'll move to the direction Libbiel is pointing us in and hack a path through maybe some of the rougher vegetation, making as direct a path as we can without having to step into any maybe more dangerous things, avoiding pools of brain worms and the like.
So I would take survival mostly for that. I could also take athletics at a harder DC for some of the kind of the more brute force clearing a path. So it's up to you which of those you think more.
Yeah, he's been learning a little bit of survival, I think, from Dezi and Vanarel, but for now, I think he'll fall back on his more brute strength to see what he can do here. 47.
Yeah, so even with the harder one, let's see, that's, yeah, altogether, you do feel that you are learning, it seems like, especially Daegron's actions there at the end, you feel like you're getting better at finding resources within here to repurpose. You're, between Vanarel's understanding of the kind of these minor road networks, you can start telling where there may be a little bit more rocks, and you can use those to help fortify the passageways more, make safer areas to go through. It does feel like rocks in general are one of the safest things here. They're not living or fungus or corrupted. They seem to just be rocks. Maybe they're moss covered at times, and that's even the moss seems to grow and latch out at you a little bit, but the rocks themselves, those seem safe. And you're kind of getting some familiarity with how to use that. And you're starting to tell a little bit about where the enemies might be. You haven't seen them today, so maybe you're deluding yourselves, but you're starting to think you can tell where they might spring up at you from, and being more aware and more ready to deal with them. And maybe you've gotten a little used to the smell and the sounds, those screams and those giggles. You still hear them, but they become background noise. And the smell, it does seem like the smell is worse in the morning than the rest of the day. You'll have to confirm that tomorrow to see if it was just acclimation helping you out now, or if that is the pattern here.
I wonder if Libby just smells like home. This is a nice place.
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of for you, it doesn't seem odd anymore. It seems normal. And, well, the other bit of that, nope, that's fine.
Here comes the downsides, yeah?
Well, let's do the roll now. Give me a fortitude save as well.
Oh, okay.
You mean there was a
Here
downside
goes.
to eating a random mushroom in the middle of a demon forest?
Ooh,
There
Okay.
are no downside.
Yeah, you
never
briefly
punished.
saw pale green and white tendrils beginning to grow out of Libbiel's body, but they then withered and fell off.
Libby,
Libbiel.
What?
was that supposed to happen?
Yes.
And when that happened, the horrible smell returned, and you no longer feel the pull to the southwest.
Oh, darn. I'm gonna have to eat another one now. I think we
Maybe
should head back.
Yeah. And we can always come out this way tomorrow. I think I have a pretty good map.
Yeah, Dezi, mark down the direction and the heading. Libbiel had that feeling, and we'll investigate at another time.
Yeah,
Got
sticking
it.
to the
Libby,
land.
cray brain stuff. Got it. It's on the map.
So on the way back, I will take some of those same types of rolls again. You can all do the same ones as before if you want. You can mix it up. Libbiel, unless you eat another mushroom, you do need to do that is up to you.
Okay. I guess everyone wants me to resolve that right away.
Seems
Sure,
like,
what
it
would
seems
you
like
like
the
to do?
wild card of Libbiel is the deciding factor for the group. So
I mean, I feel like if you want to eat another mushroom and you don't want to get a stern talking to, you might want a thievery check there. That's up to you.
I was actually thinking of doing like a stealth to see if I could maybe like encounter a creature without
sure, yeah,
like alerting it, to see if I can get close enough to see why they're avoiding us.
sure, definitely. You can give me a stealth roll for that.
Here we go.
Well, you do find some creatures. You've already used your hero point. Unless do you have another hero point? I don't remember. One was in chat. I didn't see that. Oh yes, Cotillion gave you one. So let me add that to your character sheet. Thank you.
That's 2 now. Okay. Do I re-roll that?
I'm just imagining you studying to a stealth song.
Sure. Here we go.
Okay. So that did go from a critical failure to a success. So instead of having the encounter, you will have crept up
Darn.
on a random encounter. And let me see which one you will have crept up on. At a distance to observe and check. Not at a distance that I'm expecting you to fight. Just want to be clear. Just because I'm rolling random encounter does not mean you have to fight. Yes, so what you're seeing up ahead of you, you do see a group of trees. Not like the ones you were worried about. These look a little different. You see a set of 4 ambulatory trees that have, again, kind of rotten wood look, mushrooms growing off many parts of them, weird glowing, you're not sure if it's spirits or photoluminescent mushrooms or something else inside what feels like the crown or almost the mouth of it, while the trunk itself is open with a tongue sticking out. These look very nasty, and there are 4 of them currently patrolling in a circle in the swamp around a small hillock.
I think I will come back to the group and tell them about them instead of engaging right
Yeah.
away.
With that stealth roll,
And
you
we'll-
can easily get back to the group unnoticed.
I will talk to them about it. Hey, I found some tree-looking, maybe demons. Honestly, they look demon to me. They're walking around and they're patrolling around like a small hill over there. Do you want to ambush them?
Seems like a good idea. I'd like to get a quick look at them. Sorry, I thought we were all there, so I did the scholarly recollection to figure out what they were. But
I'll let you roll
try
that,
to-
but I'm going to do it with
Okay.
a penalty because you're hearing this secondhand.
I would rather sneak up on them myself, maybe with Libbiel, and try to figure out what they are. So
Okay,
that's
you want
fine.
to give me a
I
stealth
will
roll or a
aid-
follow the expert, however you want to do that.
Yeah, I'd probably be a follow the expert, I think.
Okay, how does follow the expert work?
Just what level of training do you have in stealth?
Oh, never mind. I'm trained. So
Master.
there's
Oh,
probably
you have
just,
master.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's probably a slight bonus to this, but I'm going to roll the stealth check. Do you want this blind or no?
I'm fine with this being open. You definitely feel that you are squelching your way through the swamp.
You know,
Libbiel is probably looking back at you with annoyance and suggesting not to
I guess the
continue the
question
approach.
is, I'm going to try to... Oh, okay. So this is further back, or...
Yeah, you've not gotten close enough yet by the time.
Okay.
You can tell you're doing poorly before you get close.
Then I'll leave it and we'll just plan. Did we want to sneak up on them and just handle it that way, or they're I mean, from Libbiel's description, it sounds like they're guarding something.
I'd like to know what they're guarding here, especially since we haven't seen anything else all day.
Plus, it is better to know what these things are. That way, if we encounter them elsewhere, we'll be familiar.
So it sounds
Alright,
like I'm
so-
hearing a plan to engage these to see what's on the hill. Is that correct?
I think so.
Okay, let me
At least
my
to-
vote.
let me get a map ready.
To get close enough just to know what they are. Hopefully, not to get into a huge fight. At least that's not Plan A.
Let's
I mean, I don't
see.
think this is the hill to die on, but I think
I
we
mean,
might be finding
Can
out.
I roll a demon lore at them? Or maybe my arcana?
I will let you roll that because you did see them, and we will reuse a map from last week.
I'll just throw the demon lore, assuming that it's going to be
Let me
relevant.
get this map cleaned up because right now it still has the last combat on it.
They're always demons.
Oh my god.
Yeah, these are
No. No.
okay. You're thinking these are not demons. Kind of to your surprise. You think these are a corrupted arboreal. Arboreal, as you know, are animated trees, typically sentient, usually intelligent. But you don't think these are demons, but they do seem to have something, they're from this area. They probably are still evil. They do feel like they are corrupted in some manner. But is this not giving me art for them? We had beautiful art for them. If I drag it from here, do I get the art? There we
Look
go.
angry.
But generic goblin man.
Oh my.
The little island that they are patrolling around. And I'd like you, let's see, you're returning from the southern side, so you're probably down in this corner. If you want to move yourself down here is where we'll start this from.
Bye, Daegron. Oh, that corner? Okay.
Yes. Because you're looping back to your camp, so you're coming back from the south and looping around them. And now I think, let's see, we also don't need a party icon on this map. Everything looks good? Yes. Okay, I'll toggle you all in, and you can roll me some initiative.
I'm guessing stealth for my initiative.
Stealth for you is fine. I will re-roll rather than using your past roll. We've had enough time between those rolls. I don't want to look it back up.
10 for.
Okay. So up first we have is Daegron.
You know what? It seems to have been working well to at least give his teammates time to do things before he runs in there and gets in the way. He'll delay for now.
Okay.
Just
Vanarel.
like he's just holding back.
I'm going to, or instinctively, I'm just going to select the first two closest ones and designate them as my hunted prey. For the next action, though, I think I want to try and recall knowledge directly on these things. What are they? I'm thinking nature might
Sure.
be the way to get me that
Definitely.
answer.
Yeah, okay. These are, let me double check. Yeah. These are Tanglebriar regents. You know, this is a corrupted version of the normal arboreal regents. These are basically the kings, the rulers of a forest of trees usually. You know the arboreals are usually somewhat lumbering, mostly solitary aside from the times when they group up. I mean, these are Pathfinder's versions of Trents. So if you're familiar with Trents, this is the Pathfinder version of them after the remaster and all that stuff. You know, they're the arboreals. They typically, they take the long view on life normally. Usually the regents would always have wardens around them as well. You don't see any of the arboreal wardens here. And obviously these are corrupted. Normally they are full of life. They have leaves. They even have maybe fruit sprouting from them. So you can tell this is not the usual bit. What would you like to know about them?
What are their resistances, if any?
They are resistant to bludgeoning and piercing, much like the types you're used to, so that it hasn't changed anything. Wood seems to have a pretty good ability to turn aside and absorb simple arrows and hammer blows. And I'm going to give you one bonus thing, because you did roll a crit on this. And the one thing you can see from all those mushrooms growing on it, especially around the mouth cavity region, you suspect they have some form of spore burst that they can project at people.
Well, that matches up with just about everything else in this swamp. Okay.
So that's 2 of your actions, I believe. You have 1 left.
I think, I'll move north just a bit. I know I'm getting a little closer to them, but I'm trying to use that tree as a little bit of cover from any of their sight. I know it won't be perfect, but just to get a better bead on them in case this does turn violent.
But I feel you were moving full speed, so you were not trying to stealth, correct? You were just trying to stay out of line of sight, but not taking additional measures?
I was trying to get over to the tree quicker, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Libbiel.
I'm guessing I don't have to do another action to hide, right?
I'm going to say for you, no, because you were stealthing up. Everyone else kind of was bumbling along behind, but you stealthed up, so I will give you can start hidden if that's the goal.
I don't know what sort of, how haste would react to stealth. It doesn't really give me like if it's verbal or not.
Haste would give away your location. It has both a physical manifestation and it has words.
Okay.
Unless you have a subtle spell to try to hide that.
I do not. I am going to do it anyways.
Okay.
It's probably worth it.
So no longer hidden. So you're doing this 7th, looks like 7th rank, so hasting everyone. Okay, you still have 1 action left.
And I will spread out because of the information that it probably has a spore burst.
Okay.
Yep. And if that's the end, I'll slip in there.
Okay, let me backtrack 1, go back to Daegron. And there you go, Daegron. You have 4 actions now. You've been hasted. Your delay worked out for you.
We're figuring out these tactics that work fairly well these days. So seeing as Vanarel starts making his approach, he is going to take a similar tact, and while he's not being stealthy, going to try to stay out of their vision. So for his first move, he'll move up shortly behind him, and then as he kind of peers around from behind this tree, he's going to try to get their attention before anyone else. Let me see here. So we need to do 1 more move, and then he'll do a sudden charge as he kind of gets behind the tree he comes bursting out from behind it and starts thundering towards the closest creature here, and will make his strike, aiming to try to fell the leg as he comes close to kick this fight off here. So let's see on that attack. Oh, we get a hit.
38 will be a hit.
And that is going to be 33 points of damage.
And it takes a lot more than that. You're a little surprised by how much damage you've done here. It felt like almost double the damage from that.
That's interesting. I'll take it. But yeah, he comes thundering around the tree and aims low, and feels his axe isn't quite as aligned as he normally likes it, but is surprised at how much bark just comes ripping off.
Foundry did make a mistake, so
I feel like I was like, that's a lot.
It applied the same weakness twice. I'm not sure why. I'll look into that later, but it did take more. Right. That was intentional.
Yeah,
but
either
it
way,
just took too much more.
Did more. And that's all 4. 2 movement and a sudden charge.
And one of them is up next. The one to the north. They had been going counterclockwise around this. So this one nominally would be looking away from you, but you see a nice loud noise, and there's really no facing in Pathfinder. And it's going to start maneuvering around to you. They are surprisingly fast. They have normal 25-foot speed for their ponderous size. It's going to move to there with one action as it squelches its way through the swamp. You can tell it does not seem to be... Oh, never mind. It is slowed by the swamp water. So it took it 2 actions to get to where it is. So they don't seem to have swamp stride or any sort of special ability to walk through the difficult terrain. You know it would also slow you guys down if you're in the water, though. You also know there's probably brainworms in that water anyway, so you probably don't want to be there. And it then is going to slap at you with one of its branches. They have 15-foot reach, so they can get you from where they are. So a branch comes swiping down kind of across you, trying to kind of knock you into the water. I don't have you targeted, sorry there. 36 to hit.
That'll miss. I'm a 39
Okay.
AC.
So it misses with its action. Dezi, it is your turn.
So Dezi's not too sure on what these are. I mean, I've heard Vanarel say they were arboreal wardens or arboreal kings. I think they will think that maybe trees burn well, and they're going to try an eldritch shot. I think at the closest one, because they don't want Daegron to be surrounded over there, so maybe draw its attention. And I'll use ignition with this.
42 will be a critical hit.
42 is a critical. Okay. So the piercing damage is this. 48 for that. Looks like it took 53 for reasons. Interesting. Maybe the holy aspect. I guess we'll find that out later. And let me get the ignition going here.
Yeah, I would say I'd let you know. It does look like the holy seems to have burned it some. The piercing seems to have done less. So on average,
Okay.
you did a little bit more than you thought, but it was some counteracting weaknesses and resistances there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, and impactful. Did you want to push it away from you?
Yeah, actually, let's do that.
I guess it is
And
a fort
21
save.
fire damage goes to...
Yep, and it takes extra from that as well.
Okay, so fire is working well and holy is working well. Good to know.
I did critically save, so
Oh,
it's not
pretty
pushed
even.
back by the impact. And that
That's
was your
fine.
entire turn, I believe, right? Oh, you have one
I
action
have
left
one
with the
action
haste.
because I was 3. You know what? I have a reloaded crossbow because I get it reloaded with that. No, I'm actually happy. I'll pass my last action here.
Okay. The one that you just hit strong is... I think those are the 2 options. I'm going
At
to
least
roll a
I'm giving it a
50-50
deal.
here.
I'm happy.
One is Daegron, and then it is going to swing once at Daegron with another one of its moldy branches. You hear it whistle through the air as it comes swinging toward Daegron's head, and it scores a blow with a 45 against your AC for 27 points of damage. It almost feels like it's going to snap off as it hits you. It feels that rotten or that moldy, but somehow it stays intact. Maybe even see it reknitting itself back together a little bit, not in terms of healing, but just in terms of this moldy branch that seems like it's able to reach out and attack you in its own violence. It seems like threatening to destroy it at times. But that was that one's turn. The far one, it's taking some persistent damage first. Let me take care of that. 21 points of fire damage. A lot more than the damage itself. The weakness, it feels... You're not used to these rotting trees. You actually think usually they're moist and they're wet and they don't burn, but somehow maybe these are emitting some gas as well, and it's erupting, and the fire seems to be going much stronger than you would expect. The one in back, seeing his friend on fire, I don't think he wants to get close to the people who use fire. He's going to stomp his way down through the muck here, and he's just going to throw a rock at Daegron. And with a 46 against AC is also going to hit.
Avoiding those crits, that's what we're here for.
22 points of damage as the rock, clangs off your breastplate, your slightly new and improved full plate that you've upgraded to. Maybe maybe you're feeling a little good about the ability of this armor to protect you, because that hit you think could have been a lot worse. And then the one that you charge, Daegron, which does not need to move. It's happy. You are right here. Oh, and another hero point's been awarded for Libbiel, so let me apply that. There we go. Thank you, chat. Daegron is going to get attacked by... maybe this one's going to open its chest up and spray some spores at you. Not knowing this is probably not going to work on you very well. Let's get a fortitude save from Daegron. Only asking for your good save
Alright.
after all.
33, but that ups to a crit
Yep,
success.
that was a success. That becomes a crit success. you have this blast of spores that just comes pouring off you in a... Oh, maybe I need to put this on the map, because maybe it actually gets Vanarel too. Yes, it does. So we need that same fort save from Vanarel, as this cone is immense that it is spewing at you.
I knew I chose this spot for some reason.
You want to
But
be part of the
likewise,
action,
you
right?
also got a
I did.
success, which from your class feature is auto-upgraded to a crit success, so the spores wash over all of you. It almost seems like the ones that are sprayed over its ally kind of get seeded in back into the mold and start growing again. It seems like this is maybe how they trade these spores back and forth to help grow their colonies. It doesn't seem to affect its ally in any way, but you are unaffected by this. It has one action left. Let me get rid of the cone, and it is going to swing at you with it's gonna swing at you with its root rather than its branch. And this is trying to trip you. So that would be a
Against reflex?
42 against reflex DC.
I believe that will be just a regular success. And yes, I'm 35. for
Okay, so
reflex
it
DC.
knocks you prone, and that was its whole turn. You go falling into the muck here. You see the water just 5 feet from your face, and you remember what happens if you get in that water. And you're getting a much closer look at it than before, and you definitely can see just barely visible wriggling shapes in that water. Vanarel, you are
Yeah.
up.
And well, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do until I saw one of these light up really well under some fire. So first things first, I'm going to stride to right here, a little bit behind Daegron, but hopefully out of range of these large tree creatures. Second action, I am going to swap weapons. I am going to swap out Castrovel's beacon and pull one of my alchemist fires, which I have prepared, and I'm going to target this one farthest to the north. He's not one of the ones I have set as my hunted prey, but he's next to his friend, so I'm hoping that this will spread, well, at least among them. I'm hoping it'll spread. And let me target him all correct like, and let's see if I can light one of these guys up. With a 39, looks like I'll do
That
pretty
will
okay.
definitely hit. Roll your damage. So that's going to be a lot more damage than you... Well, maybe at this point you are expecting it, but it does almost double the damage that you would have thought it would do. And of course,
Yeah.
the splash then goes over to hit the one next to it as well, and it's taking a ton of damage from that small amount of splash. We also are 1 hour in, so I'm going to award the regular hero point that we award rather than the ones from chat. It looks like everyone is more or less at 1, and Dezi's at 2. I know Libbiel's already gotten a bonus one from chat, otherwise I would have given 1 for eating the mushroom. I think instead I'm going to give it to Daegron in the moment here.
Surrounded by
Yeah.
trees, he might need it.
And I think you still have 1 action left, Vanarel.
With haste, I think I have 2 at the moment. It was stride up, stride, swap, throw. I do have 1 left.
Yeah, stride, swap, throw.
With the light hammer, I'll go back to my actual targeted foes here. I will hurl my light hammer at this one that is just to Daegron's southern flank here, just to make sure I remember who I'm supposed to be dealing with. The 41, well, it's a critical hit. I know it's not going to deal as much damage, but I'll feel a lot better about it.
Okay, yeah, it took
Yeah.
a little bit less, but it now needs to make a couple of saves against all of your special effects. Let's see. So first you have, when you critically hit a target with this weapon, they become clumsy and enfeebled. Okay, that just happens, no save, so we'll put crushing
Yeah,
on it. And
That's
then
the crushing one.
And then the other one, the target is knocked prone unless it makes the fort save. I suspect it's probably going to make that save. Critical success, natural 20. So it's not knocked prone, but it is clumsy and enfeebled for a round. And that was your turn. Libbiel.
So Desiccate is very powerful. Every creature within 500 feet that is not in our party is being attacked. That includes all the fungus, all the trees, the moss, the plants.
Yes, this is
Everything.
any target. It is selective though, so it's not hitting allies. Okay, that is going to do some heavy lifting here. Let me...
So make some basic fortitudes.
Yes.
I'm gonna get rid of the brain worms for Daegron.
Yeah, I'm not going to roll the brainworms DCs. I'm going to assume it's going to just do enough on them. So we had 2 fails and 2 successes.
Gonna guess those are 1 degree worse if they're plant creatures.
Oh, it does say. Yeah. Okay. So that's
Yes,
two.
it does.
It's 2 fails and 2 crit fails. So let's see. Fail, crit, fail. So it's double that. Fail and fail.
Ooh, that is brutal.
And yes, the water. You definitely see a lot of. First, the water level drops a little. It does seem like it has dried up some of the water here as well. But you do see an almost visible skim of stuff floating on the surface of the water now. Insects, fish, or some of those demon frogs that were screaming, and countless worms that are no longer squirming.
So I get XP for each one of those, right?
No. Also the island, I will say that they were watching. You see most of the greenery on that island has fallen away, and you see 2 stumps rotten through with now withered mushrooms on them that seem like are the center point of that island.
Interesting.
I think you still have 1 or 2 actions left. That was a 2-action spell. You have 2 actions left, Libbiel.
Yeah.
One of them must be to stride or strike, though.
So I'm going to, with my belt, retrieval belt, and I'm going to pull out my Stormflash sword and drop my staff right here. Then I will move up to here. I think I have a movement for that. Nope, it's 35. Let me just redo this movement. And I will strike at it with my Stormflash.
Finally remembered.
There you go.
That is a hit. 37 against
And
AC.
Here's damage.
It only
5 damage.
It only took 5. Yes, you can tell
Hold on, is
the
that
piercing
versatile?
aspect is not doing as much as you hoped.
I guess it would be piercing only, huh?
That
Darn.
was your turn. Daegron.
All right, down in the mud, he's going to stand up, and we're going to find out if these things. He didn't see anything happen, but see if they have any sort of reactive strikes.
Sadly, they don't.
Okay.
That's why they. That's why they usually have their
Hold on.
wardens about them. Their wardens would have had that.
That makes sense. Seeing as the cold iron wasn't doing anything special, he's going to swap for Soul Cutter. He pulls the Elven axe from his back, and let's see here. Yeah, we've got one in front of us. Let's do a snagging strike on it.
Which one? Just make sure I'm.
The one I'm
Got it.
directly in melee with. So 35 to hit.
That's
and
a regular
30
hit.
points.
It's of damage. So, I think that's when that's overdoing the damage on. Yes, so I need to take a little bit off. I don't know why. For one reason or another, it's double counting.
I'm not sure if it's counting because there's 2 sources of damage and it's coming from an axe. Technically, I think
That's what it's doing
that.
because it's an axe vulnerability, specifically axe, not slashing. And I
I
think
remember
it's
there was a few of these with
it's
axes.
it's applying it on your spirit damage as well, which it should not be.
And my other axe has cold, so that's where it was doubling.
The
double
elemental
dipping.
damage it was counting as if it was since it came from an axe, but I don't think that makes sense for that to double count. So
No. Okay, so he swings with the first, and then with how light this weapon is, he brings it around for the second strike on this creature. Now that he's got it off guard, here's his plain strike for a 37 to hit.
that's another solid hit as you're thunking. You're basically becoming a lumberjack and chopping your way through this guy.
And 31 points of damage.
Yep, I'll give it 10 back.
And that'll be all 4 standing, and then swings a few times at this after switching. He's got the cold iron axe across his back again.
Okay, the one to the north, I think it's also going to want to try those spores again. And it can tell you shook them all off, but these have always worked for it in the past. How does it want to angle this? I think it's going to start there. It can't get Libbiel and Vanarel. I think if I move it over, it can, though. So let me try that. There we go. Gets 3 of you. So I will need a fortitude save from the 3 of you as it opens its chest mouth and spews forth a huge cloud of fungal spores. And I see a hero point being used right away. I see Daegron failing.
Yeah, I might as well use one.
Okay, so Daegron had a fail but is re-rolling. So
There we
Daegron
go.
re-rolled to a success that became a critical success. Vanarel got a natural success that again becomes a critical from class features. Libbiel had a fail that was re-rolled to a success. So we ate a number of hero points here. So you'll be taking 24 points of damage there from those spores. And then it has 1 action left, and it's going to go for... I think it's going to go for the trip on Vanarel again. It has the same reach with its roots as it does with its branches. Just confirming. No, it does not. So it cannot do that. So in that case, it is just going to try to swing at Vanarel, at Daegron within the moldy branch. and you should be flat-footed to this. I don't know why it's not considering you flanked, because you definitely are.
I am. It's taking out my dueling dance.
Oh, okay. It's counterbalancing. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So just regular damage here, and it wasn't close to a crit anyways, but I was just wanting to check. And 30 more points of damage. So, I mean, they're hitting you almost consistently, but you have a lot of hit points now. You can take these hits. Maybe that's one thing maybe you're noticing, that you've become much more hardy over your time in the last couple of adventures, and while you still may get hit at times, it doesn't seem to hurt as much as it used to.
Yeah, I feel like he's partially deflecting the worst of the blows away from him and just relying on his armor to kind of take the brunt of it.
And that one continues to burn.
So now that we've kind of experimented and figured out that holy and fire work pretty well, I think I've got a pretty good solution. Given I'm bringing out the big guns, we're going to target the furthest one. They're also across the water, and I figure my allies can get the ones that are closer. So we're going to Eldritch Shot that one, and we will use our max level Holy Light here. So we're going all out. Let's see if this hit. Seems fine, a 37 to hit.
That lands square in the trunk of the creature.
So this is the Holy and Fire damage, which is 109.
Yeah.
Here's
it
the
takes a lot.
crossbush.
You see it light up completely in flame. It's a raging conflagration around it, and the arrow still, because of the holy, at least the holy is still a bigger weakness than the piercing resistance is, so it's taking slightly more damage at each step along the way here. And you have an action left.
Reloaded. Yeah, I think I'm gonna actually take my last single shot at the one that's closest to me. It's near death, and it's been beat up a lot. And that is probably a miss. A 29 to hit misses.
That will miss. Okay, the one that's been the most beat up is up next, and it's seen how ineffective all of the attempts at spores have been. It does seem to have, knows it has Daegron flanked, but Libbiel right next to it. I think it's going to go for Libbiel. So it's going to swing a moldy branch at you for its first action, but you are more nimble than it expected, and you matrix your way right under the arm, and it doesn't hit you at all. And it's gonna try again though, and it misses a second time. It got closer. It got closer, but not quite enough. And it will try a third one, but that now you can tell it's getting frustrated, and the flailing is getting more desperate. It's burning. It might even look like it thinks it's going to burn on this turn when it ends its turn. We'll find out. But it tried to swing at you 3 times, and all 3 missed. It's still alive. You can tell you can see just the barest core of a trunk remaining amid the flames. It's probably lost almost all of its branches. You see the roots trying to shrivel up and fall off. You can tell it will die on the next turn from the burn, guaranteed. But it would get a turn first. The one across the river that was just bombarded by Dezi is going to probably throw some rocks at Dezi at this point. Let's see how far a range we're talking here. It's going to throw some rocks at you. A 37 against AC, looks like that scores a hit for 29 points. They aren't listing a reload on this, but I'm going to say it has to grab a new rock before it can throw, so that's going to be throw, reload, throw. But a natural 20 on its second one.
Oof. Hit.
For 40 more points to Dezi. And that was that one's turn. And we now have the one that Daegron's been going mano a mano with. It's still standing in the water, just thrashing away. It has used its breath weapon equivalent, so it can't do that again. It doesn't seem to have a lot else. It does seem like its branches are designed to break things, but it can't break attended items, so it can't break your sword or your axe, but it seems like that's one of the things it would usually be trying to do. Breaking away through a camp wall would be no problem for these creatures. But it is going to just swing at you at least once, and we'll see what it does after that, Daegron. 43 will hit you for 38 points. It's going to try a second one of those. Another hit with 39 against AC.
Ooh, flat on. Come on, it wants to go for the third, doesn't it?
25. At this point, it does. It was considering retreating back out of reach of you, but it does seem to be smart enough to suspect that you actually might have a reaction, so it knows it, and it can't step in the swamp, so it knows it would provoke. So at that point, all it's left with is trying a third time. It's probably less likely to know about your opportune riposte style ability. And there's the critical miss. So
Yep, he dodges to the side and brings the axe down on the arm that comes out
critical hit.
for a 41. It's going to be 52. Unfortunately, no adjacents to cleave into, but...
Give it 10 back. But that was its turn. It did a fair bit to you, but you did almost as much back to it. And it is Vanarel's turn as we begin round 3.
Okay, I'm going to focus back on one of my actual hunted preys. This one down here is starting to pick on Libbiel, and I know she's bold with that big honking blade she's got, but I don't want to have to drag her out of the brainworm water again in here. So
I mean, there's currently no brainworms, but all right.
Yeah, but they're dead. They'll ruin your hat. So it's still, because I have multiple alchemist fires, it still shows me as with their hand in my hand. I do not, so I'm going to sheath that, and then for my first action, I'm going to redraw the rapier. For a second, I am going to come in here.
So that was a swap action at the beginning, right?
Yes, that was a swap.
That was one action. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm going to move in here, right, sort of next to Daegron, facing this arboreal that is to my south, and he is one of my hunted prey people, so I am going to do a twin takedown flurry on him. I know this won't do as much, but this is a pretty sharp rapier, so stabbing in as deep as I possibly can. Twin 7s.
Double hit, though. Both hit, so 49, and these do get combined for the purposes of things that matter. And and as you do that, it almost just falls apart. As you see, like, the rotting wood can just no longer maintain itself. And the whole creature, as it's burning, as you're stabbing it, it just kind of crumbles into almost dust and just falls to the ground here. And that one is no more. And given how dusty and how little is left, I'm just going to remove the token from the map.
All right, and then, see, moving over here, drawing the weapon. I still have one left because of that haste we've got. So the other one, which is the one that Daegron's been facing off with toe to toe, I've got no problem with hurling my hammer at this thing. I'm just using that big open, like that rotted out knot as like a bullseye, essentially. That's directly where this thing is going. Eat this.
That's another crit, even with map. Nice job.
42 to hit. Dealing 36, I know. Oh, all right.
Mineral's on cleanup duty here.
Yes.
I guess so.
Another one crumbles. This one maybe falls. Maybe this one's a little bit less completely pulverized, but it just falls over into the lake, and you have like a floating rotten log on top of the lake now.
That probably doesn't improve the situation much, but that is my turn right there.
Get off the map. I'm gonna leave that one on the map because as I described it, if you need a log to try to traverse the water, it's usable as one. Of course, you have the log down here as well. You have options.
Yep, that was all four.
Libbiel.
So it's half movement to cross this water?
Yes, it is.
I think I can get there with 2 movements.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I'll move to here. And from
Libbiel
here...
goes splashing through the water,
why did that
and
not move?
at least for the round, no save is needed. The brainworms are
Sorry, I'm
all
having
dead.
issues with the server.
You got there.
I will activate.
Storm Flash.
I'm trying to cast the lightning bolt so it hits both of them.
Yeah, I can easily see
So-
that. It looks like you got that now. I see the straight line. I trust that. I will roll their
And
saves.
it's like this
They had a 34 and a 33, so they both failed against your lightning bolt.
damage.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay.
44 points to both of them. I think only applied to one. Let me apply it to the other. There we go. Both of them took it. The one closest to you, it looks so close to death. It's not even funny, but it is still alive, and those glowing things in its head are staring menacingly at you.
I'm trying to delete my... There we go.
I think you still have one action left. No, you had a double move and 2 action spell. Got it. Daegron.
Yeah.
All right. Seeing as Libbiel is working on the other one over there, he's going to stride up to this one north of them. Why not? He'll move a little bit just in case it tries to shoot out some more spores at them. And as he gets close, you know what? I can do it now with these ones. Let's go for a slam down. So he goes for the strike first at the leg to try to weaken it. That'll be a 46 to hit.
That's a crit.
I don't know if we'll see if we get to the slamming down of the slam down part, but okay, it's still there.
And I need to give it 10 back as well.
Yep.
It no longer has single digits 8 HP. So that roll your d6. That was a crit for knocking it prone.
I don't think it'll do anything to it, but there's a 6.
Yeah, it does not take bludgeoning damage typically, at least single digit bludgeoning damage.
With a max map attack, it was a 1 anyway, so won't do much. But it's on the ground, burning, and he's standing over top of it, ready if it tries to get away.
Yeah, looking for s'mores to start cooking over the campfire. The one on the ground is up next. It knows you have a reactive strike. It also knows if it fails to hit you, you hit it back, if it fails badly. It has nothing it can do other than flail at you from the ground, and even that might be dangerous for it, but it seems like that's its best bet in the moment. It's going to start off trying to trip you as well, though.
We can flail around on the ground together.
That is a 27 against your reflex DC.
Okay, against reflex DC, not a crit fail, but a fail. I'm at 35.
So it does not trip you, and it couldn't trip itself because it's already tripped. So then it's going to swing at you with its branch for its second attack, and critically
that's what
miss.
We're looking for. Natural 2.
Don't hit it.
Ground.
32 against AC while it's prone.
Does a clumsy hop over the branch as it comes swinging towards him. Almost trips and face
That
plants.
one also burns away
stick
into
it.
nothing. That was its turn. Dezi, can you finish this?
Well, Dezi's concerned about Libbiel over there, so they are going to move, kind of hop over the log to get a better aim at the one that's near Libbiel. And yeah, they'll try the Eldritch Shot to hopefully end this using Ignition. 18 on the die is a 44. I forgot to target it. I'm guessing that's a
44,
crit.
I believe, is a crit. Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy with saying it's dead.
Yes,
but,
it
you know,
is dead.
He pinpoints the eyes
had
there
4
and kind of
HP.
shoots into the eye hole, and it starts burning, presumably, and all that fun stuff.
You are now out of combat. You are still currently injured. What do you want to do?
Well, let's heal up a little bit and then go check out that hill they were guarding.
Yeah.
Daegron, Dezi, and Libby get a life boost, which will do
Oh, fair.
4 rounds of...
Well, Daegron looks like they're a full. Oh no,
Daegron.
sorry. I have the wrong person. That's fair.
So at 7th level, it does... I'm bad at math. 7th level is 14, then plus 16 times 4,
So it's
64?
64, yes. I go to full, of course, but, you know, everybody else.
So 64 healing to Dezi and Daegron here. I'll do the /R64. You should be able to use that to heal if you need a macro.
You know, I have a 15-foot leap. I can do that. I can do the leap.
I'll move him
from
out of the way
here.
then, so we can see the map. Okay.
I'm gonna wade across the dead brainworm swamp.
I know you killed him, but I that water just looks icky.
There's so much more icky things I've walked through. We went to a sewer once.
This is worse than a sewer.
This
That
is nature's
sewer-
sewer.
Was somehow cleaner than this place.
Well, I have killed everything in a big area, so...
You know, here, Libby, why don't you take Brasmere and Stinky Boots? They're probably good for wading through this water.
Meh, I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I felled that tree in just the right space, so I am going to use him as my my bridge.
Okay.
I'll hold him steady
give
for
me
you.
An acrobatics check. Daegron, you can give me an athletics to assist with that.
Yeah, let's balance across.
Yeah, you make it across. You do feel it's dissolving under your feet.
Oh,
Daegron's helping keep it present, but it's decomposing extremely rapidly. Or maybe it's not decomposing, it's losing its structural integrity. You don't think a second person can go across that.
I'll give that heads up to Daegron. Hey, this thing is rotting away a lot faster than I thought.
Unless you need me over there, it looks...
It would be a little larger than we have on this map, because the 2 trunks that were exposed here, they're probably about 15-foot diameter trunks each. So this island, you know, we're taking liberties with the map, but you found 2 very large stumps.
Just invest. I guess try to. Are they magical? Because we did just destroy these, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, they radiate magic.
Okay. I'll try to identify what's going on with them.
Yeah, give me any of the magic disciplines. Nature is best. Other ones might still learn something.
We're going to start with the religion, but
I'm also going to investigate with my unified theory. Just kind of look at it magically in general.
So Dezi, with yours, you feel this is the you can't tell exactly what this is with religion, but you can tell this is an unholy spot, maybe more unholy than the Tanglebriar in general. You know, all the Tanglebriar is unholy, so it's sounds a little tough to get a solid reading on that. But this does seem like the nexus of some evil event. And Libbiel, you are not sure with that roll. These trunks, they look like dead trees. They are radiating what feels like a little bit of necromantic energy, but it's kind of weaker than you would expect.
Do I feel like I might be able to get more information from nature?
Right, you could try that.
Okay, I will do a scholarly recollection and roll this twice, basically, to try to figure out what's going on.
You're still not really sure. I mean, what you can tell, both of these trunks, these seem to be almost double the diameter of the ones you just killed here, which you know are normally the rulers of the forest. So these were older trees. These are maybe like the king of kings among the arboreals that were cut down here. You don't know if these other ones were just guarding a kind of a cultural site, or if it has more meaning than that.
Well, I'm gonna bring out my hexing jar, the lily in it, and just kind of set it on top of it, see if it has any reaction.
Oh yeah, it starts turning kind of a sickening purple color as it's feasting on some of the energies here. It does not seem to be able to consume enough to make a difference though. So it's eating some, but you think it would need days or weeks to purge this area.
And I don't have any seeds from this, right?
No.
Okay.
Do we think there's some way to get rid of this magic here? Like to
I mean,
neutralize it?
if I leave the flower here, it will do it, but I don't really want to do that.
Yeah, but that takes days or weeks. Perhaps, I don't know, we could get rid of it some other way.
I can try a dispel, but I didn't really put too much resources into the dispel, so
That's up to you. I'm waiting to hear ideas.
I'll give it a try to my dispel magic. I'm gonna cast a 4th rank dispel. Here's the counteract.
Let me pull up the numbers I need for this.
Just hit the cast button on this.
Okay. I really should have this printed out in front of me. There we go. Okay. Let's see. I press this button and we'll see what we get. Okay. You see some of the energies fade. You feel like you've suppressed something, not dispelled something. You're not...
Well, there's definitely like a weakening of the magic. I suppressed it.
Maybe your lore?
Sure.
If anything, Daegron would like to help with that. He, in a different way, seeing these massive trees that were even bigger than these supposed almost lords of trees they just killed. He'd like to do a perception check on the hue marks across this and see if he thinks it was done by a massive axe of sorts that maybe he's recently heard about, and that might tie into tree raiser lore.
Sure. Give me that roll.
Yeah. Just to get down on one knee and it's kind of like examining the base of the stumps here, right, and see if there's something unnatural about the growth beyond what's already unnatural about this place, of course.
Yes, so Daegron, you're looking at this, and from your understanding, this does look like this could have been a tree that was blasted apart by Tree Raiser's axe. So you think this pair of trees could have been, famous giant trees in this area before the coming of Tree Raiser. Possibly the oldest trees in all of southern Kyonin. They were said to be the homes of some of the Dryad queens here, the protectors of the forest, and this was a especially powerful, beautiful kind of union place between the Fae and the Elves. And it looks like you have found the remains of those two trees.
Yeah, I think Daegron kind of gets down and he's looking at the marks into the wood, and he's like, it seems like something hewed through this, and a strike maybe too. I know you were recently telling me, Vanarel, about Tree Raiser and the axe he wielded. I would think only a creature of that strength could do something like this.
Yeah, this is
one more religion or nature check from people.
This is
Sorry,
more
I
of
only
a
do
grave
actions.
site than anything else.
I'm guessing that's not a magically inclined religion.
I'm gonna want this one to be direct on its.
Yeah, I'll step out of that then.
Dezi, you are remembering now, maybe after hearing the destruction of some giant trees, just last night, you fought two things that were the manifestation of the cataclysmic destruction of an ecosystem. And you think maybe those were bound to these trees? Maybe like a Grave Knight or a Revenant? These are the resting point or the rejuvenation point of those Briargeists that you fought.
Okay. I'll share that, and I don't know if this will do anything, but I feel like Dezi would want to at least try to cast a Cleanse Affliction on these stumps. I mean, if they're not creatures, that's fine, but at least I'd give it a shot and see if it did anything.
Sure.
To remove any kind of corruption here.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a counteract check.
The 30s.
It had no effect as far as you can tell.
Okay. I mean, I think it was worth trying given the history we know here. Dezi is probably a little reverent given the stories that Vanarel has told and all that. But maybe we do want to come back and try to figure out how to neutralize this?
You are thinking similar to, say, the altar back at the Elk Raven Lodge. This is probably the type of thing where you probably need a consecrate ritual or some other sanctification type process to rededicate this place, to clean this place. You probably need to remove all of the fungus, which I guess Desiccate kind of already has, but you know it's going to be, the air is just full of spores here, and you know over time they are going to regrow here. So whenever someone comes back to try to do something, you know that would be part of the process. Probably needing to terraform the land a little to remove the ability of the corrupted water to reach this. You feel it would be a fairly large undertaking to cleanse this site.
Okay.
But you
Let's mark it on the map.
can add that to your
Yeah.
list of missions you may or may not want to do here.
Daegron, you got the list going there?
Yeah, we'll add this to the list. If we're seeking to secure our campsite further, maybe we can bring some of the druids out this way to assist us in this.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can do here now.
So as you head back to the camp, we still get a roll from Daegron, Vanarel, and Dezi for your reconnoitering here. We did Libbiel's.
Yeah.
That's what triggered this encounter, or not triggered. That's what allowed you to do this encounter. Daegron, so you're just continuing to kind of bushwhack your way through, trying to make a simpler trail, making it easier to get across all the little rivulets, because now you're outside the area of Libby's destruction of the brainworms, so you know that water is very dangerous, and you're making bridges, you're throwing rocks around. You might be making your presence more well known here in some ways, but you are making it easier for you all to navigate.
Desi's gonna do. They did a lot of mapping on the way out. I think they're gonna keep a lookout for anything interesting on the way back. So more just a straight up perception at this point, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, so if someone else can help by answering chat for me for the hero point question while I keep things going. Yes, but so Libbiel, sorry, Dezi, as you are looking around, you are seeing more and more traces of the creatures. You don't see another creature in the moment. We're not going to have another random encounter, but you're able to start seeing some more of what types of creatures live here. Roll me a d20. You see some very large and deep footprints, ones that seem to leave, that cause the marsh not to spring back. It seems like it really is compressing the marsh to a much deep level. You would guess these are from a fairly big creature. I see a hero point for Libbiel. Let me award that. Going through a lot tonight. Very generous chat. Thank you. So you think it's a size large, maybe a size huge. The footprints look size huge to you. A little stumpy. You could believe it to be a size large that's very squat and thickly built, or it could be a size huge, more normally built creature leaving these kind of tracks. It does seem the edges of the footprints all seem to have extra, more varieties of fungus growing. It seems like it maybe is seeding some as it walks. Somewhat similar to the mosquito demons from last night that seem to be spreading the corruption manually. This maybe feels more accidental or coincidental. It just happens to be spreading mushrooms as it walks, rather than, because it's not seeking out areas of less or more growth. It's just walking. It does look a fairly kind of stumpy leg with kind of three squat, not really sharp toes.
Okay, sure.
Society or nature, yeah.
Am I allowed to roll at this too?
I'll say sure.
Here's my society.
So even giving some pretty steep penalties, Libbiel is able to identify this from just the footprints. I do want to know maybe what you were reading in that library to discover these, but these are a type of fungal marsh giants. You are familiar with marsh giants. They, as the name suggests, they are giants who live in the marsh. They are some of the stupidest of the giants that you've met. They're almost a frog or like a oversized troglodyte-looking creature. However, I'm going to show you the pictures here. You don't see these at the moment, but these are the fungal marsh giants. So the regular ones look just like that, but without the mushrooms on them. And you know that these are size large, very, very low intelligence. They tend to be very easy to trick and very much just following their instincts, even though they have a touch of reasoning.
Almost like amphibious, like frog, fish-like.
I think we cover ourselves in like some of the dead mushrooms that I picked up earlier. She pulls out a pack of dead mushrooms. I think we could maybe trick them into thinking we're on their side.
You can smear that on yourself if you want, Libbiel, but you're not tricking me.
They're from the desiccation. They're fine.
So
See, they're all dry.
It doesn't make them smell any better.
Libby, did you eat more of the mushrooms or something?
They kind of grow on you after a while.
I think that's what they do.
They grow on everything after a while. That's sort of the problem we're having around here.
Dezi starts checking behind Libbiel's ears to see if there's any mushrooms growing there.
I mean, right before the fight, they did grow out of Libbiel very briefly before withering. That's different than growing on Libbiel, I think.
I'm microdosing mushrooms in order to gain immunity to them.
Oh, okay, that seems perfectly normal.
I don't know if you can do that with demonic infections. But hey, I'm not the scholar of the group.
And I think, Vanarel, we still have one of your rolls from heading back to camp.
Oh, I thought I had done that earlier.
I think you only did the first one on the way out. I don't remember one on the way back.
I was going to utilize survival just to try and pick and choose our way through here. Again, I'm still trying to use the known dangers to our advantage sort of thing. And does this have to be a secret check or is this open?
It's fine to have this be public.
Okay.
Yeah, that is... So between the... Got it. Okay, yes. So your maps are getting better. You are learning more and more about the way these paths connect. You think now you actually do have a sense of how this network is running. And it's almost related to like a spider web with some main thoroughfares and branching kind of circular ones. Not quite that regular. Maybe it's more like a root network of the mycelium in the ground, now that you're thinking about things that look similar to that. And you think you can tell there's at least a center point that looks like it's probably a couple days' journey almost due south of your location. That seems like it's where all these threads are kind of coming together.
For better or worse, I think I know where we should go once we have our camp more firmly sorted out.
Yeah, to the mushrooms. They called us that way.
Okay, just don't eat any more of them, Libbiel.
I'm going to eat more of them. I'm sorry.
And with that, you will arrive back at your camp. So let me put you back on the camp map. So Shalelu will come back to approach as you come into the camp and will ask, so you've been gone for one day? We had no emergencies here. How was your journey?
Ran into some arboreals that were corrupted, ate some mushrooms. Nothing too adventurous.
She looks a little aghast about the eating the mushrooms. Are you sure that was safe? We've been staying well away from all the mushrooms here, but a food source would be useful.
I don't recommend them as a food source.
I'm almost positive that was not safe at all.
Then why did you do it?
The mushrooms, they speak to me.
Don't worry. Libbiel has found a way to be a bit more in tune with, I guess, the energies of the fungus that could surround this area. It's not always the most recommended path, but it's gotten us some information here and there. But talking about those arboreals, we may need to do something about that. We found Vanarel. What was the story you were talking about?
These two massive trees. It looks like that it was Tree Razor's axe that did them in.
Either way, those Briar Geists that attacked the other night, we think that that's where they came from. So, sometime in the near future, we may do an expedition out that way to see if we can cleanse the site. We may need your druids to help clear the area. I know Libbiel and Dezi were preparing to maybe perform more of a more complex or use stronger magics on it, but we suppressed it. I believe Libbiel suppressed it for now, but they'll be back.
It's definitely going to be part of a longer-term project, especially with it being so nearby.
Yes. I am not familiar with those legends of the forest here. These are not my lands, but I think it would be a great morale boost to the elves back in Kyonin if that gravesite could be properly honored and cared for. What else did you discover on your circuit?
Something to the southwest, was it, Libbiel?
Yeah, when I ate the mushrooms, they drew me towards a certain spot. I would love to go check out to see what's there.
The good thing is you don't actually need to eat the mushrooms, Libby, to follow the signs to that spot. There's enough signs out there, and I can show you and your scouts, if you'd like. They seem almost like roads at first, but it's essentially it feels like it's a map heading towards the spreading of something underground. I think that's something we need to check that out next.
So it sounds like you have discovered 3 new points of interest within the swamp. You have the pair of trees, some fungal call from the southwest, and you say a nexus of the roads to the south.
I should also bring up that we did find tracks of a fungal infested marsh giant. It wasn't too far from camp. Maybe keep an eye out for them.
And at those words, the Shalelu and the rest of her sentinels, they look a little less worried than about other things they've encountered. It seems like they may not have fought the fungal variant, but they feel no fear about regular marsh giants, at least. And the normal amount of power gain that they've seen among some of these known fungal variants does not seem to put them feeling like this is a major threat. That seems to be one of the more mundane threats of the area, in their opinion.
Luckily, they are low intelligence creatures, so if you cover yourself in fungus, they probably will think you're on their side.
Shalelu looks at the rest of the party after that statement.
Oh,
Isn't
she's a
that
little
necessarily-
fungus focused.
I see. Almost like a fungal queen. What other
That's-
powers has she gained from the fungus?
I wouldn't call it powers, but some insights here are there. Dezi is usually standing on hand to assist.
I did sprout some fungus tendrils for a minute there,
You
but they
don't
fell
need to
off.
tell them all of that, Libbiel. It's okay.
What
It's
color?
exciting stuff.
What
What color were those, GM?
okay, let me read them back. I know I'd said before, but I
Ish.
think it was light white and light green, something along those lines. White and light green, I think. Let me find it again. It was pale green and white tendrils grow from the victim's body. Tendrils that increasingly twitch and writhe with a mind of their own. However, yours withered off right away, but Shalelu will recognize that as the initial signs of tangle rot. But if they've withered away, she thinks you've probably fought off the infestation. So you're probably not still sick.
Oh, neat. Yeah, I just I got better. It's fine.
She still looks a little
Sounds-
nervous about someone who would voluntarily subject themselves to that, but does acknowledge that sometimes the information gained is worth a risk of that nature.
You're preaching to the choir, Shalelu. Believe me, it's fine. We're all a little nervous about Libbiel here.
Well, while
Helps
you
a
were
dead
gone,
mushroom.
we
Good,
did
really.
we did continue to follow your advice. We have dried out more of the campsite. We have rearranged the tents, not quite as shown here, to be a little more defensible, less just kind of centered around the campfires, trying to create some bottlenecks. It's only cloth, it might not defend against some things, but at least attempting a little bit more defensiveness aspect of it. The ramparts have been raised a little bit higher, and they are trying to use some of the tents they tore down one of the tents and set up kind of as an awning higher than the campfire to try to disperse the smoke a little bit more so it doesn't just billow up as a cloud. It kind of is a little more spread out. It does make it less pleasant to cook under here, but they think it is worth that. And they're asking if you've seen anything else that you think they should change about the basic camp setup here.
I feel like we'll be able to add more and more to this piecemeal as we get more information about the area. There's nothing that's coming to my mind immediately.
Well, we did run into the arboreals who seemed like they could probably take down these walls pretty easily by themselves.
Yeah, but they seem like they were defending that one particular spot. I'm not sure they're going to be ranging too far, but I don't know.
Yes, but they are in the area, so...
It's something to be aware of.
One thing I would add in, I do feel that the amount of work we've put on this camp, this is probably about the limit of what we can expect to use for a single day camp. If it is going to be a permanent location and we keep building it up, we can easily keep developing this more. But as part of the standard traveling protocol for setting up new advanced bases, we have spent 2 days on this location and we had some false starts, so I think we can do similar efforts with just the 1 day in the future. But I would almost think any suggestions now might have to trade off against some of the other ideas you've had.
In that case, perhaps any downtime you possess that is not accounted for, building maybe collapsible and transportable barricades would be well spent.
She basically she's taking a couple notes and nodding on that without giving any other response.
That way we can at least have stuff we can set down very easily once we get to a new spot.
They already cleared the trees from around this area, correct? That was
Yes.
part of the... Okay.
Well, if
We might
nothing
need
else,
to decide where to go next.
I am happy to let you decide your next plan. I think we could report back to the Queen at some point on a successful conclusion of basic camp protocol, but it sounds like you may have some other things that you think are worthwhile doing that are close at hand.
Okay, I suppose we need to prioritize because I don't think we can do everything. Group, what do we think? Do we go for the cache, go for the fungus call, or go for the Nexus of the Roads?
Well, how far do we think the cache is? That's a ways, right?
The cache is
Let
in
me put back up
Riverspire.
the region map for you all, and I'll try to give some rough ideas. Some of this is still going to be abstract, but
We go
If we
for
go to
the-
Riverspire, we're teleporting back to the capital or something of the sort.
so you are currently down inside the Tanglebriar, roughly where we have the player party token. Riverspire, which is currently, the front lines of this invasion, have been pushed to the north. Let me try to draw my best guess at what this might look like in the moment. Don't take this 100%, this is not guaranteed, but it is kind of like that region is currently demonic control at the present. So you're pretty deep behind enemy lines right now. Riverspire is still several days back to the north. The sense that you got Libbiel for where this mushroom call was, that was only, you're guessing, 2 to 3 days away to the west, so not very far. And then the sense of what you were getting Vanarel for where this nexus of these roads were, I think that was more kind of a little bit more southeast than I was saying. Probably about double the distance from what you were thinking the close while fungus call was. So maybe guessing
Okay.
3 days, 3 days in the swamp, 4 to 6 days in the swamp, and probably teleport and walk back in from outside. Riverspire is far enough away. That's a week, 2 weeks of travel in the Tanglebriar. And of course, there also was Tanglegate, which I think is more or less kind of over this general direction. I don't think I have that directly. So that
Okay,
again,
I was
don't
about
call
to
me-
ask if we thought the Nexus was
don't
Tanglegate or not.
require me to have that one exactly correct, but it does not coincide with the other ones you were looking at.
Okay.
I mean, I think we should probably stick in this area while we're here and do some exploring, but...
I think we can actually just move on from this, and send the scout force back, because if we are going to go after one of these longer distance things, we're going to have to camp on our own.
But we want to set up a permanent camp here. I think setting up the permanent camp here makes sense.
I don't think that's our objective currently? We're looking for camp protocol, not...
Just clarification on that, GM. Was it more about learning the protocol and stuff to set up more forward camps, or I'm just looking at my
Yes, the first
my
mission
list.
was more about just practicing effectively.
Okay.
Spending a couple days here, learning what works, what doesn't work, both for yourself.
Okay.
And as you know, you do know that when you're off on your own, if you're not bringing the Silver Branch Sentinels with you, you may have options, the various spells for producing interdimensional spaces to rest in, that might give you more options for camps. If you bring the Silver Branch Sentinels with you, you probably have to have a physical camp, but that's why they are prioritizing campsite protocols that they can accomplish, in a couple of hours at the end of a march. And how to make it safe, how to try to be secure, how to have enough space, enough sight lines, enough protection from demons, whatever they think they need. And with an eye to it eventually using these as part of a true invasion with lower level people. But right now, this was kind of proof of concept. If you wanted to choose to establish a physical permanent location, that is fine. If that's what you think is the most effective way of accomplishing your missions, that's a fair thing to do. But that was not the mission you were asking
bad. Yeah, I mean, having a target to teleport into here does make some sense to me, but I'm open to suggestions around that. I guess my only suggestion is maybe we do at least try to check out one of these locations. In particular, the center of this web does seem interesting, and I can always teleport us back once we get there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It might be worth having them stay here until if we need to teleport in and out before we go deeper and deeper into the Tanglebriar. We can send them back afterwards. I don't believe our River Spire trip is going to be more than a day or two, because we can either get teleported or we can take that, what was it, Wasp Cavalry?
Oh yes, but I mean, it's gonna take us a few days to get to the web, or at least a couple days to get to the mushrooms if we go there first, right?
Yeah, so I would rather not risk them being attacked in the meantime.
I mean, if they're able to, I'm okay. I'm okay with leaving my wand with them, at least for the time. If something does come up, we can always quickly get back here.
What purpose do they serve by staying here?
Holding a camp for us to teleport back to where it's not.
We can teleport back to Ayadara.
When we come back to the Tanglebriar, though.
Okay, so you want them to sit here until the next time we're in the Tanglebriar?
Yeah, if we're only leaving for a day or two, it seems that a place to come back to that at least is secure and not possibly teleporting back into an ambush might be prudent. At the very least, if something happens, I would prefer they flee and just tell us. And then once we aim to head deeper, we can send them home.
I'll be honest, I don't see the purpose of keeping them here, but if that's what you want to do.
I mean, I do think having a base this deep is useful, especially when we've discovered a few places of interest around here that are relatively close.
I want them to stay here more than needed, though. I understand where Libby is coming from. It is a very dangerous place, and against some of the things we've seen here, I don't want them to.
And the quicker we send them back, the quicker they can train other units to come out with us to get a bigger force out here.
That's fair. I mean, I don't think a few days is the biggest barrier there.
I mean, you'd think from having talked to them before, they are here mostly to help support you. If you're going off on more than a one-day trip or so, it probably feels like, and you don't think they'd be helpful to you on that trip, they would probably rather get back to safety.
Okay, fair enough. We can send them back then.
They are helping you, and they should be helpful, but they are not as strong as you. And leaving them on their own for more than a day or two in the Tanglebriar is probably not healthy for them. They would generally expect to travel with you if you're going away for multiple days and are camping overnight elsewhere. Their default assumption would be they are traveling with you to help be your support network, to help buy you time, to help fight. They have some curing potential. But if you think they are not useful, leaving them in the middle of the Tanglebriar by themselves is not what they signed up for.
Yeah, I think we have to decide what our next goal is then, and we can choose what happens from there. If we are heading deeper and farther away, then, as Libbiel said, there's no need for them to stay here.
If we were to go after like the mushroom call, I'd say we bring them, or maybe the convergence of the different paths. Just bring them with us, just that way that we can guarantee their safety, and they can support us from outside the combat.
What do you think about going
But
to
if we
one of those
fire-
first, and then we after head to Riverspire, and they
Okay.
can leave at that time?
We should definitely visit at least one of those places that we found down here.
I lean more toward the convergence of the web. That seems. I mean, the mushroom. I don't know. What do you think?
We could always flip a coin.
If we stay
No, we
in
can't.
the
We've already discussed this. Daegron. That doesn't work.
if we stay in the Tanglebriar, I say we take them with us. If we leave to go to Riverspire, I say we bring them home.
I'd
That
go
makes
to
the most
one of the
sense.
two spots.
Agreed.
We can take them with us.
Yes. So the
Okay.
choice is the Nexus or the mushrooms that you felt, Libby. And then once we finish with one of those, we will send them out of the Tanglebriar and see if we can get to that cache in Riverspire. Does that work with everyone?
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Sounds good.
Okay, now we just need to decide which of the two.
They're
Vanarel, what's
essentially-
yours?
They're essentially in opposite directions, but the mushrooms are closer from here.
I'm not super. I mean, 2 days versus 4 days doesn't make a difference when we're already this deep to me. So which one do we find more interesting, I guess, is the question.
Vanarel, was that a vote for the mushrooms?
It would have been a vote for the mushrooms. I mean, of the two things that we found, only one of them seems to be talking to people's brains when they eat them.
Libbiel, what
That's
would you
fair.
prefer it for?
I will really want to check out the mushrooms.
So let's go to the mushrooms. It seems that Nexus is something we can investigate on our own as we come back later.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to stop us from going there from here. Just as a note, I don't know if this will affect our travel, but I will cast Wanderer's Guide on the way there. Because
Okay.
we're in the middle of a swamp. So
Sounds good.
We
Yeah,
might be
I
able to
guess
make
I
quicker
won't
time with a
be
smaller
using-
group anyway.
Part the Mist to Paradise, so next time I'm probably going to switch that out for a different spell.
Okay, so you're going to rest overnight here. You can get your spells back. You can do any healing you need. I think you're already close to full. But we're not going to have another random encounter because we already had one today. And I'm not going to subject you to too many of those. So the night passes. There's still a lot of noise. There is definitely a feeling of being watched that you've had throughout the time here. And the sentinels, they report the same, but they've never been able to detect what it is that's watching, where it's even coming from. It feels like it is watching from everywhere and anywhere, from the ground, from the water, from the sky, from trees, everything. So it doesn't seem to react. It hasn't felt like it's dispatching anything to investigate, but you have felt watched. It's putting everyone a little on edge. And I can take a will save from everyone.
Sorry, I'm grabbing my stuff for the bee.
So no one got affected this time. It does feel. I'm still waiting on Vanarel's roll. It looks like. There it is. Never mind.
It's 41.
Yeah, no one got affected this time. Libbiel, though, you got a very poor night's sleep. Very uncharacteristic for Libbiel. And while you're not fatigued or exhausted, you can tell that your mind's just feeling a little fuzzy. And you think if you don't get a good night's sleep the next night, it's going to start causing problems for you. The sense of being watched maybe kept you up all night or something.
Is there a way I can investigate this actively, or?
Perhaps. You're going to be journeying across to the next location. And if instead of helping navigate and investigate along the way, you want to research this, that would be your option during that time.
I will choose to research then.
And then additionally, before you head out, you are hearing sounds like maybe Dalamine sent a sending to, I think Dezi was who Dalamine was closest to, is that right? From past discussions?
maybe?
Oh, no, it would have been Libbiel, never mind.
Yeah, she sent it to me once, and it wasn't a good idea.
Yes, she sent to Libbiel's sense, given the familiar resemblance to Libbiel's parents that Dalamine knew. You are hearing that there are now new fungal infections and new diseases spreading throughout Keonan. Seems like they're mostly being transmitted along the waterways that are flowing out of the Tanglebriar. So, all these little tributaries here that feed into the main rivers of the region, They seem like they have been polluted, and all of the healers and the druids and the priests, they are working overtime. They are feeling overwhelmed. What advice are you giving them?
I'd like to discuss at the party for a minute. So, apparently there's some infections going through the water. Anyone have perhaps any kind of knowledge on how to maybe help with that?
I mean, purify food and drink, but at that scale, it probably isn't going to be very helpful. Do they have other sources to get water from?
I will assume not, or they would more likely already be being tapped.
I mean, if you look at the map here, you can see that, sure, at least Green Gold, where you started, they're on the lake. They can pull water from the lake. Most of the other towns that you see on this map, maybe with the exception of Omesta and Araja, they are all along waterways that are fed out of the Tanglebriar. They may have some small wells here and there, but there's no assumption that even that groundwater has not been contaminated as well at this point. It seems like this is becoming a problem.
Maybe it's just getting the priests on creating water. It's a big task, but at least for drinking water, it might.
Well, perhaps.
They didn't say specifically what the diseases were. Like, is it anything we've seen here as well, like the brain worms?
They're not reporting the brain worms, but they are saying tangle rot and similar things are now being spread through the water. And to the common folk, that is basically a death sentence compared to you all fighting it off in a day.
Can I do some braining at the idea of my experience with tangle rot already? What perhaps maybe I've gleaned from that we can do?
Yeah, you can give me your Arcana roll on that.
Yeah, here we go.
That is a great roll, and you think through some of your experiences with it, and for now, you're coming up with some of this, maybe some of the microdosing ideas you had before, of, almost immunization or controlled inoculation, and you're suggesting things of that nature. It does feel like they would need some samples to work with, gathered here somewhere. And to send those back, that would be represented by spending a triumph point at this point. You currently have 6.
Do we want to spend a triumph point to send them some...
It seems worth it rather than having...
I'm a sucker for spending them too. It feels like, honestly, we should be punished for not spending them to help out the area, to be honest. You've never not spent one, so you don't know how bad or good they can be. This is meant to be a little bit fog of war.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a case of water is a big deal. It's not an outpost being taken down where people retreat and lives are lost for sure, but clean water is important.
I would have also probably suggested boiling the water before drinking it, but that's probably standard practice.
They were probably already doing that once they just discovered a problem. So that's yeah.
I would like to send back several samples.
Okay. So we have spent a triumph point. You're down to 5. I think I forgot to mention you were at 5 and you gained 1 back. I believe from the success of your reconnaissance so far, you've gained enough knowledge that was worth 1 point. So you've spent a point that you got this session. So you're staying neutral on points at present.
I think we're doing pretty good at it.
To the mushrooms. So you're going to head back out to the mushrooms. And so this is going to again be some of that reconnaissance on the way.
I am
great
doing
time
research
on the first portion, more or less following yesterday's journey. And
I'll continue the Wanderer's Guide per day, like it's a daily thing. But
yeah. So for the first portion of the day, when you're retreading your path from yesterday, I'm not going to take any skill rolls. You're not going to learn anything new on that portion until you get into a new area of the forest, of the swamp. But as you proceed deeper in, and you're trying to kind of find this source of a fungal call, how are you navigating once you leave the path that you have explored so far? What are you doing?
Vanarel, did you want to do some tracking and some general survival skills? I think we're both kind of similar in this.
Yeah, I'll be scouting up ahead, just keeping an eye out for anything new that seems worse in this swamp than usual, but also for the same familiar signs. We find different groupings or colonies of the creatures and hazards we've already come across that can be a help for knowing what to navigate around.
Okay, so give me your skill check for It sounds like survival again. I could take nature or scouting lore as well, but I think you're happy with survival.
Yep, so that's definitely going to be my bread and butter here. Not a good slice of bread or butter.
Mediocre slice.
I need you both to roll me a d20.
We love it in here.
This was not a time to roll low. So
No, you're wrong.
yeah, okay.
Oh, look at all that.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
nice little numbers.
That means they rolled low too, right? That's what that was?
I think so, yeah.
So they cancel each other out.
I'm gonna override my roll on that. I think this is the more interesting options. Okay, so Vanarel and Dezi, you keep working on your maps and you're trying to find your way through this place, going off of Libbiel explanation of roughly where that call was felt from, and the network here that you'd been following does seem a little more torn up. Vanarel, it's not maybe as well preserved further from that nexus point in the center. It's getting harder and harder to follow the path, and at some point you've been focused on the ground, you've been listening, you've been trying to find stuff, and suddenly you look up and you see that there are creatures around you.
Face palming so hard over here.
Remember, everyone, whatever we walk into, this was definitely my fault.
It was a group effort. It
Totally
was you
your
and
fault. I
Dezi.
didn't have anything to do with it.
Let's see.
He rolled.
Let me get the marching order here for you as well. This time I think we have Vanarel in front, scouting. Dezi close by, Daegron bushwhacking a little, and Libbiel maybe a touch behind everyone. And then you were a little surrounded when you didn't see what was going on here.
Yeah, I would think if they were ranging ahead, Daegron was staying with Libbiel to make sure she didn't eat any more random mushrooms.
I mean, it might help you find where you're going, especially given what Dezi and Vanarel came up with here. I think this looks about right, so let me activate this.
And let's be honest, we can't really stop Libby from eating the mushrooms. We'll try, but oh no.
So
At least I can supervise.
You've arrived in a small fungal clearing. There's not that giant mushroom to the southwest. That's not in this scene. Maybe the fact that there was this bigger clearing is what distracted Libbiel a little bit. Sorry, not Libbiel, Vanarel a little bit, and was able to start finding way across there. And you see 6 more of those insect demons that you fought before, the Miastrelix. You identified them last time, so I'll say the name again. Of course, I probably can't say it correctly, but they are 6-legged, what looks like giant mosquitoes. Aside, they don't have the proboscis. Instead, they just seem to ooze corruption and pollution out of their mouth. And they look maybe a little bit more like an imp crossed with a spider and a mosquito. So there's 6 of those surrounding you, and maybe more disturbing is the one smaller creature behind them all, which is a 4-armed, horned demon lady of some kind.
Those mouths.
Tiefling. Yes, mouths on all of the arms, in place of the elbows, it looks like. Pale-skinned, covered in blood, holding lots of weapons. And that's what you see right now. And we are straight into rolling initiative. These are not ones you can negotiate with. This feels almost maybe like a strike force that has been dispatched to deal with the intruders into the Tanglebriar. So I'll toggle you into initiative, and go ahead and roll me.
I don't know if I have the strength to pick you up, to throw you.
Let's see, I'm actually in battle cry range, so let's get one of those going.
Okay, looks like I see initiatives from everyone, so that is a good sign.
I will use. Sorry, I'm going to use my ability to recall knowledge with initiative on the 4-armed thing, or the thing with lots of arms.
Sure.
I guess I'll
So
go
the
with-
red things then, right? Because they have the most arms here.
Well, those are not arms per se.
This is a battle cry intimidate on the one directly to the left of us.
Directly to the left. Okay, you do yours first. That was a critical success, so it is frightened 2. I don't remember. Did you have a?
I have
is it
terrified
fleeing?
retreat.
So is that one fleeing as a
it's-
result?
Fleeing 1.
Okay. I don't think fleeing has numbered. I think it is just fleeing, as long as it has
Oh yeah,
the
sorry.
frightened condition.
Yeah, just for one. Sorry, for round.
One round. Okay. Yep. So that one is fleeing. And then for Dezi, your rolls. Yes, this is a Seraptus demon. You know the four-armed Seraptus demons are radical nihilists at heart, despising other creatures out of bitter entitlement and laughing hysterically when others die or suffer. They arise from the souls that engaged in dedicated campaigns of misery, driving their victims toward despair and suicide. What do you want to know about them?
And by default, I go with weaknesses, so we'll stick with that.
Okay. Cold Iron and Holy, just like all other demons. Daegron, it is your turn. You won initiative.
Yeah, you know what? Tried and true. He's called back to Libby. This doesn't look good. Get me going, and I'll take care of at least some of these. And he'll delay till right after her.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the same thing I always start
So
the first
Libbiel.
combat with. Everyone get your haste. And Libby is going to move closer to the group because she doesn't remember them having like a big AoE or anything. So
Daegron, you now have 4 actions because you delayed.
So he had his soul cutter out, and knowing, especially Dezi telling him this other one's a demon also, he is going to do a 1-action swap to the cold iron. So we've got the cold iron battle axe out now, and we'll start making our way over. He's going to go charge 25 feet over towards the closest terrifying, horrible wasp spider demon monster, and we'll do a snagging strike on it to try to cut it down and get through quickly. That is going to be 45 to crit for 50 points of damage.
Okay, and it's going to make it save against your frost rune. See if you get slowed from that. It has a 19 on the die, so it's totally fine, and the crit spec has no one to bounce to.
Nothing bouncing there, and then so 1 to swap, 1 move, and 1 to attack, and then we will follow up with, you know what, I should have done it first, but let's just throw an intimidate on, why not on the, what did we call this one? Elbow mouth lady? Yeah, let's just call her that. Try to help the party with her, who probably ain't gonna do it.
Tiefling or something.
She laughs at the attempt to intimidate.
The
she
elbows
looks forward to her attempt to return the favor.
And he set himself up as the forward target and gets himself ready.
Okay. Up next is one of the insects, and it's gonna fly a little bit in, not too far, about there, and I think then it will spew pollution over all of you in the middle there.
No, that's wrong.
Let me move that back to a legal position. There we go. I will need reflex saves from the 3 of you inside that cone, as kind of like a bird's craw of pebbles and acid comes spewing out of its mouth all over you. Vanarel got a critical success, Libbiel got a success, Dezi got a success. So 2 of you are taking half damage. So 11 points to Dezi and Libbiel. Additionally, the area of that template is hazardous terrain for the next minute. I was forgetting this in the last fight. So if you move through that space, you will be taking some acid damage. I believe you don't take any damage if you stay put, but if you move, you will be taking some damage, and that was its whole turn. See.
Well, I guess I don't take damage if I stay put. Okay, I'm gonna target the closest. Actually, I'll target the one that's injured with one of my with my crossbow. The one that's near Daegron. Dezi takes careful aim at that one and will try to at least do some damage to it. It's a 35 to hit, which looks like it hits.
That hits.
The base damage is 27. Takes 37. I'm gonna guess from the holy. They don't like that. Then I'm going to cast a spell, and I'll say, "Sorry, Daegron," as I yank out one of my holy vials and, chuck it like a grenade, kind of centering it to hit the 2 big bugs in that multi-armed creature over there.
Bonks me on the head. I'll take it.
Okay, show me where that's landing.
Sorry, I'm pulling it up right now. So I'll do that area.
Okay, so let's see. Daegron's going to fail his save, and the enemies, we have a success from the 4-armed elbow mouth lady. We have a fail from one of the insect demons and a success from the other.
So I also need to roll the spirit damage, which won't affect Daegron, but...
Okay, so all of this is, let's see, so this one takes
I believe
whole,
you'll have to...
this one takes half.
There might be double weaknesses coming into play here.
Okay, and then you have the spirit damage on 3 of them, right? So this one takes half. I will need to adjust the damage because I don't think it should be doubled, correct?
The weakness shouldn't be doubled, yes.
Yes. Okay, so the weakness was, okay, let me fix with all of them that took the extra bit. Let's see, that one's been adjusted, and there we go. That's all good. So that's the effect of your turn.
Actually,
One
not,
action left.
because I cast a spell and fired a shot. To be honest, I will take the final shot at the one near Daegron again to see if I can maybe take it out, or at least get it close to taking it out. At this point, with the spell, I reloaded a cold iron bolt. I'm not sure it'll matter, but we'll see.
This would be at third map for you, right?
Second map, because the second one was just a save spell.
Yeah, sorry, save spell. Yep, got it.
A 3 on the die will lead to a 24, which will miss.
So that is, the bolt goes skittering across and nowhere close. Vanarel.
Well, it looks like we're putting our damage over on the western part of the map, so that is where I will focus as well. I'm going to start by taking a real close, probably a regrettably close look at that four-armed elbow mouth lady over there, as well as this large insect that's directly in line with me to the west. I'm going to call both of those my hunted prey, and let's see how spicy this ground got, I guess.
Yep.
With the acid and such.
Yeah, I believe it is just
The idea is to move here.
Yeah, okay, you're just taking 2d6 damage. I'll roll that. There's no save, there's no... It just... Each turn you move, each turn you move in it, 8 points of acid
Gotcha.
damage.
Okay.
If that's acid damage, you should have resistance 5. Yeah.
So just...
I do have the energy.
So take
just
5
oh,
off. I didn't have a type on it, so...
Gotcha.
I should have rolled it from the macro. I was just doing it quick.
That's okay. Yeah.
Since I know it matters next time, I'll roll from the macro.
Yeah. There we go. All right. And this bug here, as I was stepping through all of that, already had Castrovel's beacon out and is just going to lunge straight in with the first attack, bring the hammer over on top of it together for a twin takedown flurry. Oh, I think that rolled both of the hammers by accident.
That rolled...
That did roll 2 hammers. That was
Okay.
my fault. I selected it wrong.
So what should I do? What did you mean to do?
Oh, I intended
Same
to
bonus,
have the
right?
rapier first and then the hammer.
Is it the same?
Same attack bonus, just different damage.
I think so you're gonna have to re-roll the damage because the damage macro finished. So it's still gonna crit with both. If you can
Okay.
either
So I
roll
will
each one
instead-
individually or change the actions around and re-roll damage, whatever's easier for you to do.
I can from here, I believe I can roll and here is the critical on the light hammer that was the follow-up, slamming down on top of it.
Okay, so it was blinded by Castrovel's beacon. It has the crushing effect from the hammer, and it needs to make the save against being prone. It's not having a good day. It does save against the prone, which maybe makes sense. It's trying to flee and run away as fast as it can, so it kept its feet underneath it, but it took a lot of damage. I think it took more than it should, because I think it should be combined for the purposes of...
Yes.
So I'm giving it 10 back. But other than that, you almost at half its health in your twin takedown there.
Okay, so yeah, moving over here, setting up. I am going to... I want to see if I can get the demon lady's attention as well. I know that this guy's running away because Daegron yelled at him. So I'm going to hurl my light hammer at the demon. See if I can bounce this off the ground underneath these long insect legs and maybe connect with her. 5 on the die. Yeah, 28's not going to do it, will it?
Yeah, she expertly, does just a slight tilt of the head, and the hammer goes swooping right past her head. And she made that dodge look easy.
All right.
Was that your whole turn?
That was all of mine. Yes.
Okay. Up next, we have one of the insects. It's gonna come up here and do the same thing that the other one did. It's gonna spew pollution out over Dezi and Libbiel. That's not gonna make the hazardous terrain more hazardous. That's not the way that works, but it is still gonna add... Oh, and it does get... I think that is also... Yeah, that's also getting Daegron. So I will need reflex saves from the 3 of you. Daegron got a critical success, Libbiel got a fail, and Dezi got a success. So Dezi and Libbiel are taking half damage, as it feels like these insects are trying to surround you and coat you with acid from all sides. Okay, and that was its turn. Up next is the 4-armed demon lady. And Vanarel, you were trying to get her attention, so I think you're going to have her attention. Mission accomplished. And that's what this does first.
I've wisely surrounded myself by acidic terrain.
Yes, she is going to start off by casting a spell. And I will need a will save from Vanarel.
Okay.
Oh, you are lucky.
There you go.
Stunned one for one round.
Here I am.
Stunned one. Yeah, you got her attention, and she was going to try to turn you against the rest of the party. And unlike the last time Dominate was cast on you all, this one was a level 8. So this one was not subject to incapacitation like the previous one that came against you. So she now only has one action left, and she is unhappy that she does not get you under her ability. So I think, how about this one? Libbiel, you are going to hear voices in your mind telling you that the mushrooms are your friend, and these three here will not let you befriend the mushrooms. And we will need...
This is just facts.
That's just true.
We need a will save from...
Ooh, these 19s.
You
I mean,
are-
she completely agrees, but she succeeds.
Yes, so with the success, you might agree with everything they're saying, but you're able to still consider your friends your friends. Otherwise, you would have not considered them allies for 1 minute. So that was her turn. Very unsatisfying turn. Could have maybe turned 2 party members against you in 1 round. Okay, this one is fleeing. So, do you have a reaction to that, Vanarel?
Yeah, I'll give him a parting shot if my HUD will maybe catch him once with the rapier.
That
As he
is
goes
a
out.
regular hit as it goes running away.
I'm just
Oh, sorry, no,
take a leg-
sorry, you were targeting the wrong creature. That is going to
did I?
be a crit against this one. So press the critical button instead. You were targeting the 4-armed lady, not the one who ran away.
I did have her targeted last. We'll do that one too.
Okay, that's a lot of damage. It's no longer fleeing. Let's see what else happens to it, though. Oh, wait, see, and for your ability, does that disrupt moves? I think your version
no,
might.
no.
Only
Yes,
minute.
it does.
Yeah,
Disrupts everything on the ranger.
the ranger, I think, disrupts the moves. So it only gets to move 80 feet, which is exactly where it was. So, yeah, so it's where it was. Got it. And then it's already blind, so I'm not going to roll the save again. Oh, no, I guess it's for 1 round, so it will roll the save. It might prolong how long it's blind. It is still blind for another round. The fleeing is gone, though. That was its turn. We have
Can
3...
I ask if it can flee directly into the Seth's demon?
It was going
Is that a
directly.
possibility?
It was going directly away from people, so no, it was not going to run over the demon.
Okay.
Insect's going to run in, and you know what's coming: more pollution.
Thankfully, not poison, it's acid, which
Yes.
means I'm preventing lots of damage here, fortunately.
And this one's hitting all of the party, and there are guys who are
that's
immune to it.
illegal.
So give me reflex saves.
That's an illegal code, though.
I don't. Oh, is it? Let me fix it. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. There it is.
I know I get hit, so I'm gonna roll.
Oh, I'm out of it. Nice.
Yep, Daegron got out of it, so your failure doesn't count. Vanarel crit success, Dezi success, Libbiel failure.
No more hero points, so
22 damage to Libbiel, 11 to Dezi, and less with your resistances. 1 more of them. Yeah, it has a nice kill box here. Doesn't think it can move to get people
it's almost
better.
like
No, I think it's happy where it is. It will just breathe from there and then decide how it wants to use its move action, or its 3rd action. And that's also an invalid cone. That looks correct. That is getting Vanarel again. So 1 more saves from all but Daegron.
Like the single worst spot in all of the swamp.
Yep. Well, critical success from all 3. It's gonna decide at that point with its 3rd action. It's gonna. Oops. No, it's not making a giant aura. It is gonna just step in here and be ready to start biting people next round. And the last one, who has a Daegron kind of grabbing it. Doesn't like that. It's going to try to bite Daegron, not knowing that all of its buddies 3 days ago completely failed to bite you ever. 38 will miss. Got closer. It has 1 action left. It is
feels
going,
good, right?
It is able to step away, right? Your staggering strike that will break it, and you're not grabbing it, correct?
Yeah, but look, it was so close. It wants to try again.
No. So it's going to step away, which removes the off guard.
Yes.
And that is the end of round 1. And that also will be where we end today's session, because we're right at time, and these rounds will take a while. So we will pick up next week with the party surrounded by a sectet of mosquito demons and a four-armed elbowed lady. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you've had a great time. I really appreciate you all being here.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.